Hi everyone, Mature Simmer here. So welcome back to Misty Hills. Gone ahead at this point, and it's possible things will change, but right now I've determined I'm simply going to do the cow work and keep the cows going, obviously, which is necessary. And that, keeps the farm active and things are being done. But I'm not going to be specifically planting crops at this point because we've got changes upcoming and it just doesn't make a lot of sense at this point to worry about that. So at this point I need to get grass and hay. Well, I need to get grass to get silage. I've got plenty of straw, so I've still got over 1 million liters of straw, but I'm actually down to about, I just refilled the barn, but I'm down to about, hold on, I think I might need a PTO connection. Yes. I'm down to, I think, like 30,000 liters of hay. So I'm going to need hay pretty soon, and then silage is getting down to probably around 100,000 in the fermenting silo. So I'm just going to cut a little bit of grass. I'm not going to do the whole field. Start at this end just because that gives me the option to have some straighter lines here, which obviously would be a good goal. So let me unfold here, or actually lower then unfold. Alright, so I've got everything running, and we're going to lower everything down, and we're going to begin cutting and dropping our straight swath. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and, I don't know, 10 rows. Nothing substantial because I can always do more if I need to. But because the quantity is pretty high, if I recall, we got in excess of 1 million or so liters off this entire field. I don't need that much, I would not think, because once again we are running toward a position where we're leaving this map and moving to Hobo's Hollow. So from a timing standpoint, let me get into that, and that's basically what I'm going to talk about, is the changes that are coming and what you can expect to see both in this series and on the channel based on that. So what I've got going on is, obviously we're doing the map swap. It's now getting into late October. So, hold on, and with that, we are at the point where, or late October, it's late November, and pretty soon in December we're supposed to be getting contacted about moving, and we've also had the message that they're not continuing to accept any new requests for map changes for servers, so that they can basically deal with the people that have already made requests. So it looks like then they're kind of closing the door on things. Sorry, it didn't look like I was lined up here, so wanted to make sure everything was good before I created problems as I was going along. And so therefore I'm hoping the server change will happen relatively quickly, maybe even before the end of the year. As such, yes, there's potentially 3 game years or something that go by, but I'm taking the opportunity, given that the holiday season is upon us in real life, and just, the other demands I've got for year-end things with work and so forth, to take a little bit of a hiatus from the farm here as far as heavy workload, knowing that things are coming. So my plan here on Shellbrook is to basically keep the cows going, keep selling the milk. That's going to keep income and so forth at a good spot. And, you know, that will also meet the requirement of FSN of I'm working the farm, I'm doing something on the farm. So it makes it a little easier to operate, but yet makes me operate within the rules, knowing that once I move to Hobo's Hollow, I'm likely going to have a lot of crazy going on in the beginning. So one of the things I've certainly spent some time doing is looking at the map, trying to figure out where I'd like to call home, because as the mayor/server sponsor, I'll get to pick whatever lot I'd like. So cost isn't an issue. But one of the things, because Hobo's Hollow is hilly, which is one of the reasons it's a map we've chosen to move to, that makes it hard to find space to place things and so forth. So there aren't a lot of fields that are easily going to do things, but I think I've found some that might work, but they're going to require over time me to get other lots around them, so it's going to make things kind of interesting for a little while, because I may honestly not have any farm buildings, or not many, and it also may slow down my cow situation as well, because I think where I want to put the cow barn, since that's really one of my largest buildings, is going to require me to get a piece of land that isn't one of the fields. So we'll have to see how that all plays out. Once again, with the luck of the draw of auctions and so forth, and the possibility that other FMs on the server may want those farms, there could be some challenges there. We'll see how that all plays out, but really that's going to be the main continuation you're going to see with Misty Hills. So I don't anticipate anything substantial from a delay standpoint, and if that does start potentially becoming an issue, I may do some other things, or I may just keep you up to date, and we'll have some updates of what's happening as we get closer. But right now, you're not going to see this video till basically the end of the year anyway, and hopefully at that point we'll be well in the process of moving to Hobo's Hollow, and there's not going to be any kind of disconnect in seeing any videos as far as timing of things coming out pretty much every other day, because I should have I'll certainly have plenty of content once we get going there, and so if it just takes a little bit longer, I'm going to have to make the decision based on what's happening at that point as we get into the last week of December. Certainly if we haven't even been contacted or communicated, we know that we're looking at probably another 2 to 3 weeks at minimum. So, maybe I'll throw a crop in the ground and do something and get some additional work going and so forth, but we'll see how things go with that. So that gets you up to speed on that piece. The other bit of exciting news that is not entirely new, but I've got a lot of new details on it, is I did mention that I had thrown my hat in the ring to give this generational farming thing on FSN a go. And so I've been contacted. I've been told that I'm in a competition group at this point. Since it's tentative, I'm not going to say what that group is at this point. I don't know that it would matter if I did one way or the other, because I think it's just who we're matched with. But we had been asked, what server or what location we'd like our server to be in. So obviously, for latency and so forth, those ping times down in that mini map where I've got about 40 milliseconds right now, to keep those reasonable. Typically when you're playing on multiplayer servers, you want servers kind of in the same physical region of the world as you are. So I've answered the questions. I've gotten the response back, thanking me for answering the questions, telling me tentatively which group I'm in, and that I just need to keep aware of future communications to move forward. But I'm hoping that means in a couple weeks we'll be getting going on that. That may be really, really intense as well. And so that's another reason that I'm just choosing to keep things at a minimum, because there's just a lot of unknowns up in the air right now of what demands I'm going to have in the FSN space. And as I've mentioned many times before in other videos, I'm not looking to have FSN become 100% of my simming time, because I'm definitely enjoying a lot of other things. You're going to see a lot of variety on the channel, I think, of things I'm doing. Hopefully it'll be interesting to folks to not just have farming simulator content, but to have other content that I'm really working on getting good at as well. And getting good meaning that, just having good results in my sims and so forth. So that is what is driving it. And at this point, what we've been told is the model for generational farming is that, we're going to be put in a group. We're going to basically be put on maps. And then we're going to be on those maps for a set period of time. Whoop, it's not, the GPS is not doing its thing. There we go. Now it is. So sometimes it'll do that, which is okay. There we go. I'm like, this is not working out, but I think we're okay. We're okay enough, even if we leave a little bit of grass. It'll be fine. But I think they're talking about probably 2 to 3 years per map, and then we'll basically be moved to kind of simulate kind of one generation to the next, going quickly. And it might be longer than that. They're not sure. They're going to try to see how things feel as we go through it. So it's going to be very much a work in progress as we go through that, which is frankly part of the interest for me. But the biggest part of the interest is just it's something completely different within Farming Simulator that's not been done before. And I like the fact, again, that FSN is trying to innovate where there's been a lot of other real-time server, continue on folks that have kind of tried to attack the space. And attack might be a strong word, because it's not as if, this is some sort of a business or revenue producing thing for the folks that are operating it. They're just covering costs and things like that. But, there are other jealous folks who have decided, hey, we're going to start things, and, we can tell they're jealous because they're basically talking about how, versus the requirements that FSN places on folks, we don't do that, and you don't have to do this. This is, a better community than FSN type of thing, but still the same positives. And so I do like the fact that the FSN leadership is seeking to innovate in other ways so that, basically some of those complaints are pointless, because no, there's something really unique about it. And generational farming is one of those things. And so having the opportunity to participate in that is something I'm really excited about and looking forward to. I just realistically feel, because of the time I've got, I'm probably not going to be incredibly competitive, but it doesn't mean that it's not going to be fun and entertaining, and it should certainly offer something new for you to look at. So my plan is, from what I understand, I'm probably going to basically start a parallel series, because I'm obviously going to be generational farming along with running Misty Hills in FSN at the same time, in real time, but they're obviously two completely separate entities. So it doesn't make sense to try to lump it in here as a part of this FSN series. It really needs to be its own. So that's what you're going to be seeing coming up in the next few months. Well, it might be less than the next few months, because once again, the timing of things, I'm so far ahead here. If generational farming starts, I'm not going to wait to put that content out. That's going to appear as soon as I've got stuff, because I'm sure people are going to want to know. So that series will start, but it'll find a slot probably somewhere. It'll start taking some of those random slots that are occurring right now that happen every 4 days, and so we'll see how all of that plays out. But that, in a really big nutshell, because I understand I've run 7 or 8 lines here, so we're probably 15 or 20 minutes in here. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing, and why I've just decided to kind of step back from fully actively farming this location right now, because I'm looking down the barrel of a lot coming, and I just want to breathe a little bit, take this time to enjoy some other sims a little bit more immersively, a little bit more directly. And so that is what I'm doing. So I'm going to collect up hay, I'm going to collect up grass, make some silage, and then continue to sell milk and so forth. If anything else changes, I'll certainly pop another episode out. But what you may see, and what I'm expecting you to see, is the fact that there's going to be a lot of years that go by when you look in that upper left banner that will have gone by on the farm between this video and the next, most likely. So we're in year 101 right now. Might be year 105 till we see each other again. I don't know, but definitely as I'm getting ready to liquidate and so forth, I'm gonna cover that, just as I did when we were leaving Seneca and so forth. So with all that, hope you've enjoyed the update. Please to keep getting notified of things that come up. If you haven't subscribed, I encourage you to do that. Always looking to put out new content. Please comment, please get involved. I've got a Discord server I've started up for the channel, where I'm trying to, hopefully get some communication going there, and we can start chatting there. It's a pretty small group right now, but certainly feel free to join that. Every video that's been coming out for a while has had the link to the Discord server, so if you haven't found that, I encourage you to take a look down below and join up so you can become part of the Mature Simmer community. And also, obviously, like the videos so that they get increased sharing on YouTube, and it draws more folks in, and we just continue to grow. So I'll see you next time.